Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Not sure when you're watching this, but welcome to coaching. I am Joe Mendoza, maybe your personal coach. If I am your personal coach, here's what to expect. I am not, definitely not the military style coach. Okay. I'm not going to be in your face, grinding you, totally being very intimidating, what have you. That is definitely not me. However, this is what I am. I will move the needle for you from where you are, where you want to be, and bridge that gap from where you are, where you want to be, your goals, your dreams. My goal is basically to bridge the gap, connect that bridge, and remember this, you are the pilot, okay? I am more like the co pilot. If you're driving a car, driving an airplane, my goal is help you avoid pitfalls, bumping into mountains, just keep you on track. I will never, ever lead you astray because your success is my success. It becomes our success. You fail, I fail, we both fail. Okay. I have accomplished tons in my lifetime. Ever since being a young man in high school, I've been an entrepreneur. Okay. I've tried multiple different businesses. One of the key things that I laid the foundation was sales. If you know how to sell, you will never, ever starve. Okay. It's one of those things that you figure out what you're selling, whether it be real estate, insurance, loan origination, anything. If you really hunker down, get really, really, really good at your sales skills, game over. The next thing you want to do is start working on your leadership management skills. Okay. Because I don't want you to just be a salesperson forever. I want you to have the ability to take time off. I want you to have the ability when you're sick, you're not worried about work because somebody's covering you. That's why you want to duplicate yourself. And that's why you want to learn about leadership management. Okay. Marketing. Marketing is massive. If you're not marketing, you're off the grid. Nobody's going to really know who you are. Okay. There's multiple different ways to market, but let's boil it down to two very, very simple things. There's digital online, and then there's grassroots, belly to belly, door knocking, canvassing, out in the public, face to face. Okay. One requires a lot of check equity. You must be able to sustain a 3 month, a 6 month, 1 year campaign on marketing. Never do one and done. It never works. Whether it's a mailer, magazine ad, anything like that, 1 to 3 months is not going to cut it. So if I were you, I plan on a 6 month campaign or a 1 year campaign. Sometimes it's instantaneous. Sometimes, not very often, but for the most part, it's usually 6 months to 1 year. On grassroots, belly to belly, door knocking, cold calling, anything like that, it's very instantaneous. Okay. Somebody's going to tell you yes or no, they're interested or not interested. You're going to find out if they're motivated or not motivated. This costs next to nothing, right? When you're picking up the phone, you're door knocking, anything like that. Okay. So we're going to be covering a lot in coaching. Here's what I want you to also remember. You must be coachable. You must be willing to do the work. You must do the homework. You must follow through. You must be accountable. You must make it a must, not an option. When you invest in yourself, you invest in me, you invest in coaching, just like anything. I'll give you a perfect example. If you decide to buy a gym membership, it doesn't work unless you show up. It doesn't work if you do multiple different exercises. You do weights, you do cardio, you do Zumba. That should be the arsenal of your business. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Some people think, okay, digital, digital, digital. Well, not too long ago, I lost my YouTube page. Yes, kind of like MySpace. MySpace, some of you never even heard of it. Well, it disappeared. So you never ever want to put all your marketing, all your attention to one strategy. You must have two or three, not just one. Somebody wrote the book, The One Thing. Not in business. When you're an insurance agent, a real estate agent, a loan officer, you must have two to three different other options. In real estate, once upon a time, when the market crashed, there was a lot of REO agent, real estate owned agents. Okay. And some of them were riding really, really high, getting all these assets, all these listings. And that was all they were focused on. When that market disappeared, so did they. Okay. So realize that if you want to have sustainability, make sure you have two to three go to strategies, two to three. And it might take months or maybe years to master, but when you master it, game over. Okay. So again, sales, leadership, management, marketing. And some of you will be able to do it almost simultaneously because you're that gifted or you have previous experience. And that's okay too. My job is to run as fast as you and sometimes faster to drag you. Okay. But keep up with the pace. This is not my race. This is your race. Together, we'll be very, very successful. I look forward to working with you and let's make it happen big. Take care. God bless. See you later and make it a great day.